You're listening to SM Media. Welcome, folks, to our latest episode of Golf Talk, your exclusive SM Media golf podcast. I'm Scott McPike. It is always a pleasure to be your host and breathe. We're over. That's it. One of the busiest weeks I can remember in a long, long time. One of the most enjoyable weeks is done. It's in the bag. Royal Troon has hosted one of the best opens I can remember, and we are going to dissect it. All 4 days, we're going to look at some things we didn't see because we were both there a couple of days. But it is a pleasure, as always, to welcome a very special guest, Andy Fullen.
Hi, thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed the Open this year. As we spoke before, it's close to home for both of us, so that makes it a wee bit more special as well. You really get the kind of buzz of the week. And yeah, Ayrshire was just a wash with golf, the kind of frenzy of the Open for the last week, 10 days. So it was brilliant. It was really good.
I had a conversation with someone I got to know fairly well, and he said, and this is a quote, "Is this the weather you always get?" And I said, "That is the weather we have had for many, many months. I don't think it's stopped." It was good though. It had changed a bit on Sunday, which I thought was quite fascinating. The one day where I was waiting to be an absolute battle, and it did turn into a bit of a bit unlike what we saw kind of in previous opens where the kind of winner just takes it with the scruff of the neck in the back nine. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, just the weather was horrendous, but it did make for such a tough test, and I think that's one of the kind of takeaways for this Open is that Troon, like Troon's only hosted the Open 3 times since I can really remember watching golf.
Mm.
2004, 2016, 2024, 3 very different Opens. 2004, obviously, Todd Hamilton came from nowhere. 2016, we saw the duel between Mickelson and Stenson that really a lot of people were talking about that all week, is that I hope we see something as dramatic as that. And then 2024, there was a lot of challengers, but in the end, I think the one conclusion is I think the most consistent player in golf showed his class.
Yeah, really worthy winner. I mean, he just looked a wee bit different. I think on Sunday, certainly, it was there to be grabbed by someone. You know, there was so many people thereabouts, and he just went through the gears. Clutch couple of putts, and he never looked in any doubt. You know, once he made those 2 putts, I think 13, 14, it was excellent. And you looked as if he was really enjoying it as well. You know, I mean, the tee shot he hit off 15, I think it was.
Yeah.
They just stood up, absolutely lashed it down. I mean, no sign of nerves or you just knew he wasn't backing off from there, and then that was really it. But again, to shoot 65, bogey free last round to win the Open just doesn't get any better than that, really. But I'm sure we'll talk about the guys who finished behind him, but a lot of good golf, you know. It's just a case that he was the best player on the day, and he was a deserved winner.
I remember checking my phone when he was I think he just birdied 11, if I remember right, and he was still, I think he was 11-4 in the bookie, when I checked the betting, and then he was coming up 13, and I remember checking my phone again, and he was 1-14.
Right.
And I watched it back when I come home, and I realised that wee moment, that wee kind of opportunity, a few players kind of bogeyed. That was where he just turned it.
I mean, his caddy had said in an interview that the PJ of Valhalla, you know, his last putt, like, kind of lipped it into the hole. Mm-hmm. They basically admitted that was a wee break there because that could have easily have missed.
Yeah.
At 11 there, I don't know if you've seen it back. I know you were there on Sunday, but I could easily have carried a couple extra yards into the bushes, and you're looking at penalty drop. It didn't. It stayed in the bank. He hit a phenomenal shot from there, makes birdie, and away he goes. And his caddy admitted that is a little breaks. He's been so close for a number of years in a lot of majors, and it tends to be, was it? I can't remember who said it, the better you play, the luckier you get, kind of thing. So, but taking advantage of these wee breaks as well, and that's probably the difference it's been for him. But he got away with that one, but Christ, he really capitalised on it really, really well.
And that was the thing. Like, I remember a few years ago people saying about Schauffele, like he's only a good Ryder Cup player. He'll do well in majors, but he'll never win one. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, kind of looking. He's got a terrific record. Like he's, I mean, he's that was his first top 10 in an Open, and he wins it. Right, so he's never really had a great Open record where he's finished in the top 10 in 5 US Opens. He's obviously won the PGA. He's finished tied 10th to 4 Masters. Like, he's got a phenomenal majors record, but I don't remember ever throwing one away. I just remember him threatening to challenge, and he's been consistent without really. I mean, the only one he was second in 2019, where I can't remember, was Tiger's major. That was Tiger's Open, Masters.
Yeah.
That's kind of the closest I think I can remember him coming.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not flung any away or choked or anything like that, but he's consistently been in contention. I think he dumped one in the water at 16, if memory serves me right that year. But yeah, it's just been so consistent. I mean, and this you look at how it just shows you how quickly things can turn in golf. I mean, already he's won that's PGA's won the Open. He's going to win a US Open because his US Open record is just incredible. Yeah. What is it? His worst finish ever tied 14th or something like that in his career. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. And then he's been very good at Augusta. So you're going from, will this guy ever win a major, to like he looks like he could win the Grand Slam. He could be probably the most likely currently to go on and win the Grand Slam.
Funny you mention that, because that is what I was going to get into. Like, Scotty's won 2. He's obviously won 2 Masters. Rory only needs the Masters. We'll get into him in a moment. Brooks only needs the Masters and the Open. We've also Ram obviously needs 2. But I'm looking at Schauffele and thinking he's the most consistent. He's the most nailed on. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him, because he just has that all round game. That, again, terrific record at Augusta. Once he won one, you kind of got the feeling he would win 4 or 5. And I just look at him. Now, it's funny we mention obviously that he's won obviously the PGA and the Open in the same year, and the only 3 players have done that since 2006. Can you name them?
The Open and the PGA. Tiger did it. Tiger did it twice, 2002 and 2006. There's 2 more. PGA and the Open. Oh God, I should know this. PGA and the Open. I think Open winners. It's not Ernie Els. Mickelson.
No.
I don't know. I'm going to kick myself.
2008, a certain Padraig Harrington.
Oh, of course, Harrington.
And in 2014, Rory McIlroy.
Oh, McIlroy, of course. Of course, right.
On the subject of the first 2 days, I think the first day we just saw a lot of players. That one thing I noticed in the first day, a lot of players were just getting a feel for the conditions, because even in the practice days, I was there. It was quite calm. It wasn't windy. It wasn't wet. And then the Thursday, it just seemed to just chuck it down at a certain point. It just get wild. And I think a lot of players, particularly in the afternoon, really found it tough. And I think the first day, I remember saying to somebody, if you're under par today, it's a massive achievement. And it felt like that in the first day. Like, I don't think any player off the top of my head that went on to be in the kind of top 10 had a bad first round. So I think that was quite pivotal.
Yeah.
Turned out. And that was kind of the first day for me, was just players were just finding their groove.
I think as well the practice days really lulled them in to a false sense of security because the conditions were actually pretty benign, and then it did start to blow a little bit in the first day, and it wasn't nice. I mean, Thursday morning it wasn't nice for conditions for golf. I know that soaked, but it just flipped, and there's all talk about the rest of the rounds obviously as well, but being on the right side of the draw at the Open is such a massive factor. It can't be, we both live next to the coast. The wind changes when the tide comes out. The wind changes. Now, I've played golf at links courses when I played front nine into the wind and then turned around for the back nine. You think, oh, that's good. I'll be downwind here, and you're into the wind again.
Yeah,
and it's a real thing, and it can happen, and it's such a big advantage. That's where you kind of seen. I'm jumping ahead a wee bit, but in the last round, you had a couple of guys who were up there who had played really well on Saturday in the early wave, posted scores and just shot themselves right up the leaderboard. That really kind of get blown away a wee bit on Sunday as well.
One was Sam Burns. Sam Burns, I remember watching. He had a putt. I think it was the second, and this was quite early in the Saturday, and he putt, and then he just went on a really good run, and then he had the same hole. I think it was the second in the Sunday, and you could just tell it was a different ball game for him. It was just like, this is, and that's the kind of beauty of links golf.
Oh yeah.
The beauty of Troon is that I don't think Troon gets talked about a lot as like one of the best Open courses, but I left Troon on Sunday thinking this was a phenomenal week, and we haven't had many of them in recent years just because of how tough it was. And I mean, 9 under's quite a low score in recent years for a major win. But
I think with when you look at it historically, I mean, 2016 is a total outlier. I mean, you take Mickelson and Stenson out of it, and next best, I think, 7 under or 6 under or something.
Yeah, you're right.
So the scores are pretty compatible. Like I said, that is just the best final round. That's Jewel in the Sun stuff. That I mean, that was we spoke I think off air about that. It's just out of this world. 2 guys, heavyweights at the best of their ability, just playing. So, but if you take them out of it, kind of 9 under, it's always been kind of 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on. I always feel for a golf tournament, 12 under is almost the magic number. 4 rounds of 3 under is proper test, good golf. You're not having guys running away with loads of birdies. You're not having people really struggling. It's just a nice kind of thing. And Troon kind of really backs that up. It's very underrated. I mean, even in on Saturday afternoon, I mean, Rose and Horschel went out and played in possibly the worst of the weather. I mean, horrendous. Horschel shot 2 under, Rose shot 1 over. So it's perfectly fair as well. It's not gimmicky. It's not tricked up. The postage stamp possibly is a fantastic goal. Obviously, it's taking the most famous hole in the whole course, but it's just a proper test golf course.
Did you know that 110 of the 157 players found the coffin bunker in the first 2 days?
Yeah,
that's an astonishing stat, isn't it? Like
from 115 yards, whatever it was in the first day. It's just such an innocuous looking shot, but none of them could. I was there for an hour and I seen I think 6 games go by. Not really any notable names, but 6 games go by. That's 18 players, and I think 3 hit the green, and one of them was just on. There wasn't. I seen 1, 2, I think, in an hour at 115 yards hole. It's bonkers.
It's the first time I've. I remember in 2016 sitting at the green. I sat at the postage stamp for about 4 hours one day, and I sat behind it this year in the Thursday, and just noticed just how much players were struggling. But first day, I want to give a mention to Dan Brown, who I thought had a phenomenal week. Just came unstuck in the Sunday, but just to be where he was, he's obviously he's back next year. But he set the standard in the first day, and then the third day obviously he was in with a shout as well. Like, what a week for somebody like that. Like, I think I read a stat. He'd only made one cut in his last 8 tournaments prior to the Open. It was his first major tournament, and he comes away with a top 10 finish, leading the first day, right
Yeah.
with a right chance. What a story that was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even on the Saturday as well. I mean, he shot, was it 2 over, and he finished bogey double. So take away the last 2 holes. Yeah, and he was one under for his round, and those conditions in the last game when I made it was incredible stuff from him. And yeah, he ran out of steam a little bit on the Sunday, but I'm so pleased that he finished 10th or tied 10th. So it means he does get to come back next year, because that's a that's a brilliant boost. It's so difficult for players like that to get into the Open. See, Justin Rose had to qualify. Some of the names had to qualify. So for him to guarantee that next year is such a boost for him. So, and that's the beauty of the Open. It does give, well, by the sheer definition of the name, the Open Championship, it gives a lot of players a chance of dreaming of doing that, and yeah, he done it. I really hope he goes on and kicks on from there, because he looks quite an interesting kind of character as well.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Friday night, obviously I stayed at home Friday, Saturday, and on the Friday night I could not see past Shane Lowry. Like, I really thought just the way he'd taken the second day, just the scoring conditions were horrendous, and he looked to be the play, like the one player you thought conditions are going to suit him here.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, after 2 days, I couldn't see past Shane Lowry, and I think he deserves a massive amount of credit for how well he played in those conditions. To be where he was, 7 under after 2 days, he was 2 shots clear of Rose and Brown, and I really thought, as well, just getting the engraver out already, I really thought it was like that.
Yeah, I think with the short game he's got as well, because I know in the tough conditions we miss a lot of greens and things like that. And yeah, first 2 days he was great. Pretty underrated ball striker as well. He's a very good ball striker, Lowry. But yeah, easy done in the third round to kind of maybe lose your head a little bit, and as soon as you've done that, shots can fritter away, and that's unfortunately for him what happened. But yeah, first 2 days he looked really, really good.
We had a few players miss the cut on Friday, quite a few big names. We'll talk about a few of them individually. I just want to name a few players who missed the cut. Ludwig Åberg, who I really thought had a big chance going in this week. Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Bryson DeChambeau. 2 players and Henrik Stenson, obviously, as well, former champion, missed the cut as well. The cut was 6 over. Rory McIlroy missed the cut. It's tough because you saw with Rory, he can always have a very bad start and then pick it up, but he seemed to have a bad start on Thursday, and I know his card was marked on the Friday, and then just enjoy himself the rest of the 14 holes. Like, the first day, you could see there was a lot of frustration, and then the Friday, I think was it the fourth he holed out for the bunker.
Yeah, it was.
And then he just seemed to enjoy his round, but there's also that's a decade now, and we need to have these conversations.
Definitely, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm not sticking up for him really in any way, but I think he was. We're talking about the side of the draw and stuff like that. I think he was one of the guys that was a bit unlucky with that. However, other guys were on the bad side of the draw and did well, But the thing that worries me is when he comes out with things like, after 22 holes of the tournament, he was planning he's going on holiday and stuff like that. And you're like, you look at, he's never been he's never been a Tiger Woods grinder to just get the absolute bit. He's just not that type of personality. He's just not that type of player. And he's had weeks like this, even in his prime, where he would win, miss cut, second, win, miss cut. That's just his kind of the way he is. Very almost streaky like player. Yeah. When he's good, he's fantastic. When he's not, he's not. But that kind of worried me a wee bit when he's kind of saying about his plan when he's going on holiday after 22 holes and different things. You're like, well, Bob McIntyre, basically done everything he possibly could. Max Homa, he seemed like it went to him just to make the cut, and he's kind of almost given up a little bit, and that's almost a case of like, well, I'm not going to win, so it doesn't matter, and that's, I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with that. Even if everyone can play poorly, and the wind in a links course, you could play great and hit a bad shot, hit one bad shot, and it could cost you 3 or 4 shots. It's always happened, but it's going back to Northern Ireland next year, so the pressure on him there will be immense. Look at the last time. He really, he knocked his tee shot out of bounds at the first at Portrush. So, yeah, you're right. We got to have a conversation. He's
too talented.
The most talented players.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And I remember, I know that obviously in the Thursday, and you kind of thought he really needs a miracle day just to make the cut. And I said I wouldn't be overly surprised if he misses a cut here, goes in a break, and then goes and wins a gold medal. Like I think that's the sort of thing he would do. But like it was the holiday chat as well, when you just I think he is a player obviously that, as you say, his talent is so impressive, and he's just, do you know what I mean, he did a lot of impressive stuff before he was 25. I think he'd won all 4 majors by the time he was 20. I think he was maybe 28 by the time he'd won all 4 majors. This is a guy who will go down as one of the most talented players ever to win a golf tournament, but we also need to look at the fact that his talent deserves double figures. I remember having conversations after he won the Open going, is he going to win more than Tiger?
He was the golden boy. He was the next thing, and it's because I think the manner of some of his major wins as well. I mean, just obliterating the fields as well, and you could argue now there's more strength and depth now possibly, but it just doesn't look like that kind of player that can go out and win tournaments like that again, and now you've got Scheffler to put up with, Schauffele to put on. He'll see that as well. It's on a flip side to that. You see somebody like Bryson missing the cut, and nobody really bats an eyelid because they're all that way. His type of golf doesn't really suit Troon or whatever, and that's the difference. Rory is held at a much higher level because of his talent. Koepka played really poorly.
He'd have
won the majors, but nobody really. It's like, well, it's not a huge surprise. Whereas there's so much focus on it because everyone knows how good he is, and that's why he's held at a higher level, I believe, than other players.
You mentioned Bryson DeChambeau. I take it you've not watched the video that's out. I haven't watched it yet either. I've just seen it all over my Twitter. I'm really looking forward to watching it. I think it'll be the most fascinating thing in the world. We mentioned Tiger. Now, I do have to emphasise here, my main focus of the Open was I do think this will be the last time I see Tiger Woods live. Like, I do think, and that was one of the things I consider myself honoured to have seen him again. I saw him in 2004, I saw him in 2009, and I saw him again, but it's also quite hard to watch because you can tell he's struggling.
Yeah.
Like, it's
hugely,
it's horrible to watch. But we've said this a lot when we talk about Tiger. We also need to appreciate that this is the main man in golf as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you think of golf, this is the man you think of, and the reception he got in the first tee. Like, I consider myself lucky to see him. And that's kind of my conclusion with Tiger is I'm just glad to see him again before I think Father Time does eventually just say you can't do it anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it would be. He's not going to do it because of the way he regards himself and different things. But I'd love if he turned around because the question. Look at Montgomery asked, posed the question. They bit back at Montgomery and valid point, to be honest.
I didn't disagree with Tiger's comments. I don't think Montgomery meant the way it came out, but I just think it was one of those things. Yeah.
But I would love it if he just came out and said, you know what, I know I'm not the same player as I was, on my day, I still believe I can compete, but I love play. I love competing against guys. I love and I think he would gain so much more respect as well. And because you're now getting a generation of people kind of going, well, he's done, he's this and that, and they don't appreciate. I mean, every single record you look at, you look at like somebody like Schauffele, think, well, what a career he's building for. What I mean, Tiger's won like 15 of these things. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's literally, in my opinion, the greatest golfer who's ever lived. I mean, I know Nicholas, it's obviously an era thing. That's a conversation for another day. But he is the greatest, in my opinion. He transcended the sport, and these guys are playing for the money they're playing for because of him.
Yeah, and I had that. Seeing the Wednesday, I watched back the Watson and Nicholas Turnberry documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, Sky. Brilliant documentary. And I didn't know this about Jack Nicklaus. He's won 18, but he's finished second 19 times. That's more impressive than the 18 for me.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And that made me appreciate Nicklaus more. Like not that I didn't, but I'm very much Tiger was my era, and I wouldn't be watching golf if it wasn't for Tiger Woods. But I also had an appreciation for Jack Nicklaus. Was such a phenomenal representative for golf as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's very much an era thing. It really is. That's it's maybe a bit arrogant of like our age saying, "Oh, Tiger's the best," when someone who watched Nicklaus in their prime might say, "Well, how can you say that?" Because it's just the sheer, like I said, the way he lifted golf from what it was. He totally changed the game. But it's just it's a shame that it's kind of. I just wish he'd be a wee bit more humble, a wee more personable, and kind of not admit defeat, but to him it would be admit defeat. But just say, "Look, I'm going to play."
Yeah,
that's what I wish they would do. But aye, well, we'll see how long it goes.
You mentioned obviously the Saturday being on the better side of the draw. Early morning, Thurston Lawrence, Sam Burns shots rounds of 65, put them into contention, and then Russell Henley shooting a 66, and it left them a shot off the lead. And it just mentioned just this point, they got unlucky. And I remember coming home. I was out on Saturday and came home about 1 o'clock and saw these rounds. I'm thinking they're going to be in there. They're going to be. If you can get to 3 under, you could have a big chance getting into Sunday. And it just showed you being on that side of the draw, because Saturday's conditions were. I was quite glad I wasn't there on Saturday afternoon, I'll tell you that. I was quite glad I was sitting on my couch and I had a blanket over me just chilling watching it, because I was like, this is better than being out there, because that looked brutal.
Oh, it was. I mean, Saturday afternoon was brutal, but it was also great to watch. I know that Lowry had a few comments he'll probably regret, and talk about the setup and all that. I mean, I thought like the DJ and Scheffler, just basically saying it's the hardest back nine you could ever get, and some of the clubs they were hitting in, I mean, guys like try to hit like sawn off drivers into 17. It was brilliant. You don't get that in any. You could have the windiest US Open out. You're just not getting that.
Kim hitting a hole in one, 238 yards, and I'm pretty sure it was a 3-wood he used.
Well, and Scheffler's shot as well with 3-wood. I think it was 3-wood. Was it 2 iron? I can't remember.
I was 3-wood.
Great shot. I mean, it shows. This is when it really shows you how good some of these guys are. I mean, when the weather's great, lovely blue skies, and you see them hitting balls, you think, oh, they're all amazing. But this is just it's great it's entertaining to watch, and your average Joe punter watching it must have loved that, because it's showing them they're having to be creative, they're having to be, to try shots they'd never practiced, and it gets them to show off a bit as well. But the wind and the rain looked horrendous. But I loved Rose and Horschel at the end of their round. I mean, obviously they're right in the heat of battle and stuff when they play it. Then after Rose hold that putt and fist pump, and they were over, and the two of them almost just like kind of burst out laughing. It was great to see that, and as if to say, like we get through that together, and they both played well, especially Horshaw. That was a fantastic round of golf.
Yeah.
Up and downed it for like I've hardly seen before, 9 up and downs or something like that, and 10 holes is mental. But it was great to watch, but so tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Scotty Scheffler described it obviously as the toughest 9 holes he'll ever play. I want to just read a stat about Scotty Scheffler that I think just sums up his week and probably reminds us of the Scotty Scheffler of 12 months ago. He was first in the stats for tee to green. In terms of putting, 68th. And if you want to just a description of Scotty Scheffler's week, he was unspectacular as he can be, but there was times I was like, you're going to win this, and you're just going to win it by just doing what you do. And I think with the dominance he's had this season, I think we have neglected the fact, and I noticed this particularly in the Sunday, his putter's still not fully, it's better. It's been better this season, but we saw that ghost creeping back on Sunday, and if you just watch that 4-putt, that killed his round. That killed his chance there and then.
Yeah, I think because of his ball striking is just
unbelievable. It's unbelievable to watch.
But he's like his floor is like so high because he's really not done much this week at all. Really, I mean, yeah, well, you say he kind of flirted a little bit with contention, and if he could have hold some putts here, but he's tied 7th. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's
70, 70, 71, 72.
And look at the tee shot hit off the last as well. When he practically, kind of pull topped it and didn't get by. I don't know what that was. That was just I don't know. But he's just his attitude. I mean, give him, give Rory his attitude. With his talent. Rory's. I mean, he's just. I think he's great. I really do. I think he's almost. I mean, everyone's talking about Schauffele now, quite rightly so, because he's had a phenomenal year. When you look at the two seasons, I mean, that's Schauffele won 2 majors. Scheffler's won 1 major, the Players, another 4 designated. Scheffler's won $27 million, and Schauffele's won about, was it 14 or something? But whose season would you trade?
That's it. That's a fascinating question, actually, because, like, as you say, Schauffele's won 2, but Scheffler's just went on this unbelievable run. But again, it's just so, and it's good. And do you think, like, with like Scheffler and Schauffele, like, we could see a rivalry, like, that could, because they're not like Woods and Mickelson. It was clear there was a clash of some kind. You could tell they weren't the best of friends. But like, you saw, who was the first person you saw coming off the 18th green? Scotty Scheffler. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's that beauty, but there is that thing of these two could carry golf for the next 10 years. Like,
yeah, and I think it's not really a really good place. There's a lot of good players at the top of the leader, at the top of the rankings rather, and I mean, and guys like that. I mean, again, we discussed him a wee bit, missing the cut, Ludwig, but I mean, it's his first Open. Do you know? Yeah. He actually looked. I followed him for a couple. I've seen him.
He's massive, but he's massive.
How quick?
So tall. I'm tall, but I'm like he's a freak of nature.
I thought I love what I mean. He was out. He was actually absolutely blown to the draw. I mean, he was out with DeChambeau and Tom Kim for two slowest play. I mean, at 10, I said to you, fair when we nearly get hit by DeChambeau off the 10th tee when he pulled it left, and he took a drop and he was having to get everybody moved back, and then Tom Kim hit his shot. He took it. I mean, you could tell by his body language, it was as if to say, look, just let me get on with this here. And he literally, he's so quick when he gets in the ball. That's the first time I've seen him in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And he missed the cut and stuff, but I was so impressed with how quick he played. And he just swings it like an absolute dream. So, I mean, give this guy, I mean, Scheffler and Schauffele, very similar careers where they've went for a good, maybe 1 or 2 seasons where they've been threatening, and then they both broke through. I could see the same with him as well. You know, I mean, he's just going to that swing's going to, as long as he's got a wee issue with his knee, he needs to get that tidied up. He
Yeah.
just looked a bit tired, but he could, that swing just looks timeless. You know, it really does.
Absolutely. I want to just give a couple of mentions to brilliant stories. Callum Scott obviously winning the silver medal as well. Phenomenal for him. Winning obviously the low amateur from there in the Highlands. That'll be something he'll never forget. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just coming up that 18th green, the applause he got. I was there. It was just so good to see, and it was brilliant that a Scottish player won it. And like all week, like likes of Jack McDonald, Ewan Ferguson, their moments they'll cherish forever.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, June Ferguson decent finish as well at 22nd or something. So he's in the top 100 in the world, and yeah, really good. Good to see. There's a lot of good Scottish players coming through. It's like McIntyre's the main one at the moment, but you know, before these can really, you see your countrymen doing well, your close associates doing well, can really pull you on. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Rose as well. Obviously, what a week he had. As you say, qualified for the Open, and there was times where I thought this would be so good. Obviously, winning it in 2013, the US Open. Imagine if he had won. But just to finish it on with Billy Horschel as well, like two really good servants of the kind of European tour. I know Billy Horschel's American, but he's played a lot of European golf. Obviously, the fascination with West Ham, I think, is really, really fun. Like, really good finish as well. There's a lot, like, even Ram, I thought, who kind of came in with a bit of worries about his fitness. Like, I watched him as well. Like, he had a really good week as well from where he was kind of at some point of the season. Like Adam Scott, there's just so many good stories for the week, and I just think overall, in terms of golf, what a week we had.
Yeah, a proper major, proper Open. What you say, it'd been nice we got a wee bit better weather. You know, even 1 out of the 4 days been really tough.
And it's scorching today as well, which is hilarious.
I know, typical, I know. But yeah, a lot of good. So Justin Rose was great. I mean, if you had stood him aside in the first tee and said, "Look, Justin, I'll give you 4 under today. You don't need to hit a shot," he would have ripped your arm off for 4 under. And he was just beaten by the better player on the day. And Horschel, I really like him. I think he's very. I mean, he's really been in the doldrums the last couple of years. He had a very public kind of interview where he broke down about the state of the game and all that, and he's came back really well. And he's just a character, you know. I like him. Like you say, the West Ham link as well. So
I saw his bag as well. Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, aye, but I like it. Yeah, a lot of plenty of good. And Tristan Lawrence as well. Great final. Really did well. You know, hung in there. You were expecting him to fade away, and he didn't. And that's him. He's won a spot in the Masters next year as well, finishing 4th as well. So brilliant for these guys. That's what the Open is all about, really. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. But it does bring major season to a close, which in terms of the men's game, we've still got a couple of majors, obviously, in the next couple of weeks. We've got the Senior Open this week, and we've obviously got the Women's Open the following week at St Andrews. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. Well, we've also got a certain Olympic Games to look forward to. There's a lot happening in golf in the next few weeks. Is there anything you're looking forward to in the golf game over the next few weeks?
I always enjoy watching the end of the PGA Tour season, the FedEx Cup and stuff like that. It's quite good. Okay, they play for ridiculous amounts of money and things like that, but it's always good. I like the fact that the playoffs, you know, that is something to really play for. European Tour or DP World Tour rather, couple of, county down for the Irish Open. That'll be great. You know, it's just a fantastic golf course. And I always enjoy it. I was lucky enough to go to the BMW PGA last year up at Wentworth, and that's a fantastic event as well. It usually draws a good field. So there's a lot to look forward to. Ladies Open at St Andrews will be brilliant. I think that'll be good. It really will, because really special for ladies to play there. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite looking forward to this as well. It looks a very open tournament as well. You've got Nelly Corder 12-1 leading the market. There's a lot of interesting players in there. Will you watch the Olympics?
Yeah, I probably will. I'll watch the golf. I'll watch a bit of the golf kind of thing. I don't.
Still weird, isn't it?
It is. It's not really. But I get that. You could argue that kicked Schauffele's career into
defending champion,
gold medal. You know, that's his first real kind of big breakthrough. So, hopefully, yeah, if it's hopefully it'll be good parents. You know, it'll be good. It'll be a good tournament. You know, but yeah, it's not. It's not what you really sign up to watch golf for, in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully they'll get a good golf course. So you know, Paris National, so it'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. There's obviously a lot still to look forward to in golf, and we will be all over it, looking forward to what's coming up. Andy, thank you very much as always for joining me, mate. We will have another show kind of towards maybe the end of the season. We will be back to do a maybe round up of the year, but I can't thank you enough, mate, for joining me, and as again, always a pleasure.
No, it's great. Thanks for having me on again, Scott. It's really good to. Can't wait to next time. Is it Troon? Wish it was next year, but I'll be good. Can't wait. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, roll on Augusta, everybody. Thank you very much for everyone that's tuned in, and we will see you all soon. Thank you very much.